Priestesses of green eyes and red hair tended me as I lay in repair, reminding me of power to which I'm heir, without a word, without a worry. Where we are, there is no need of names. I know all I ask them to explain. My only mission is to sing a song that I've been made of all along. Song of wood, song of bone, song of knowledge, song of zone, single stream, a single tone, home. Song of life, song of soul, song is purpose without a goal, always here, always home, home. Song of wood, song of stone, song of knowledge, song of bone, a single stream, a single tone, home. Song of life, song of soul, song is purpose without a goal, always here, always whole, home. Song of life, song of soul, song is purpose without a goal, always here, always whole, home.
So, Joseph,
yes.
Is that another original?
That's the one that Michou and I have co-written.
Yay!
Thank you.
So, the Native American Four Directions. Great Spirit, Mother Earth, Father Sky, Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun, and all my relations. The two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, those that swim, the winged ones, the creepy crawlers, the fungi, the bacteria kingdom, the crystal and the mineral kingdom, the flower and the plant people, the tree people, the cloud people, and the star nation. We welcome and honor you and ask for your presence and blessings now at this ceremony to honor all that is. Please stand and face east. East, spirits, energies, and animals of the East, we ask that you honor us with your presence and bless this ceremony. East represents sunrise, morning, new beginnings, illumination, the mental plane, and springtime. East that is represented by eagle that flies higher than any other bird and brings illumination from the spirit world. Strong, mighty elk also represents the energies of the East. Thank you for your presence here now. Please turn to your right. South, spirits, energies, and animals of the South, we ask that you honor us with your presence and bless this ceremony. South that represents midday, the fullness of life, the physical plane, green and yellow, joyfulness and summer. South is represented by coyote the trickster, the playful otter, and the innocence of porcupine. Frog that brings cleansing and new life and fertility to the beings of earth is also representative of the energy from the South. Thank you for your presence here and now. Please turn to your right. West, spirits, energies, and animals of the West, we ask that you honor us with your presence and bless this ceremony. West that represents the emotional plane, the end of the journey, completion, attainment of goals, sunset and autumn. West is represented by the strength and introspection of brown bear and the color red. Thank you for your presence here now. Please turn to your right. North, spirits, energies, and animals of the north, we ask that you honor us with your presence and bless this ceremony. North, that represents nighttime, the spiritual plane, spiritual attainment, and winter. North, that is represented by the color black, white buffalo calf woman, wolf, the teacher, raven, the bringer of magic and healing from the spirit world, owl, guardian of the night, and by buffalo, that symbolizes prayers and abundance. Thank you for your presence here now. Please turn and face the aisle. Close your eyes, put your hands over your heart, and feel the presence of all these elements within, honoring each as an element of spirit. Now open your eyes. Take a moment. As you see with the eyes of God, notice God looking back at you.
Good morning again. I'm practitioner Jean Watson. I have two readings. My first reading is from the Science of Mind textbook on page 489. Do not dwell upon adversity, but think plenty into everything, for there is power in the word. Meditate on things you're doing as being already done, complete and perfect. Try to sense the infinite life around and within you. This life is already fully expressed and complete. This life is your life now, and the life of all you do, say, or think. And the second reading is from the book Simply Zen. Live every moment fully, letting each experience receive your equal and full attention. Here and now is where enlightenment can be found. Here and now can be your paradise. And our affirmation, I will read through once, and then we will say it together. I am successful now as Spirit's perfect creation.
I am successful now as Spirit's perfect creation.
And so it is.
Thank you, Jean.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Joseph Saleck, the music director here, and this morning it's a pleasure to be welcoming back my ongoing musical companion and a regular contributor to our services here at the Everyday Center, Michou Landon. Michou is an ordained reverend with the Church of Divine Light. She leads group Qigong and yoga practices, and is a poet and writer. She is a poet and writer and has a blog and offers her services as a writing coach, helping right brain authors more credibly reach left brain readers. And she also offers a practice called evolutionary witnessing. Please join me in welcoming Michou Landon.
Seeing's believing, they always say. But what if that's simply a lie? What if believing directs our eye to see what our thoughts reify? Rise, rise above. Keep your eyes on the prize. Rise, rise, reach up. Let your eyes raise your heart to the sky. If someone is suffering, someone's to blame. For Paul to laugh, Peter must cry. Where is it written it works that way? Who told us we cannot all fly? Rise, rise above. Keep your eyes on the prize. Rise, rise, reach up. Let your eyes raise your heart to the sky. One man told the truth, and the blind could see. His healing the laws did defy. We might doubt the proof, yet it comes to be on just one thing we can rely. Love, love, love. Keep your eyes on the prize. Love, love's enough. Time to outgrow your world-weary disguise. Rise, rise above. Keep your eyes on the prize. Rise, rise, reach up. Let your eyes raise your heart to the sky. Keep your eyes on the prize. Let your eyes raise your heart to the sky.
Do I want you to what?
Do you want to move
Oh,
the mic?
just hand me the mic, please. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very
You're very noisy. Don't get scared. This is just extra protection today. For those of you who have been in the room before when my hip dislocated, you know how weird that is when it happens. And it did it again this morning. just, out of the blue. And so I just decided that I would have a little extra stability handy. But I feel great, and as usual, it went right back into place, and all is well. I know their music is so touching, isn't it? Every time. Thank you so much. Every time. So, I'm still Rev Ann Rea, who takes great delight in getting to play with this wonderful community in all of the ways that we do. And it's, to acknowledge that this center, this Everyday Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Fe, New Mexico, is where it's at, is not an overstatement. Because there is such joy here, and such love, and such awareness of each other, and such kindness. And Laurel spoke to that this morning in her celebration. And it is extraordinary. I've been to a lot of centers, and I've worked in a few, and in various capacities for the entire time that I have been involved in this philosophy, which is years now. And it's extraordinary. What we have, what we give, who we are, and how we practice. So today we close what has been a month-long conversation about money, about looking at money differently, thinking about money differently, receiving money differently, giving money differently. And the question today is, if not now, when? We give a lot of word service to what we're going to do eventually. How we're going to change our minds or our choices or our perspective eventually. So, if not now, when? Well, Stephen just said tomorrow. And he doesn't know. That's one of my favorite answers. Because, believe me, if any of you walk into a bar and see a sign that says free beer tomorrow, you can know that that sign will say the same thing day after day after day after day, and the free beer will never happen. It'll never happen. How about in this moment? Right here, right now. Change your mind about something. See something differently. Be receptive to something that you've been maybe a little resistant to. Because there's so much evidence. There are so many reasons to hang on to our reasons. So many reasons to argue for limitation. To defend and protect our limitations. We don't have any limitations. And I see a lot of you who, I know most of the people in this room very well today, and you're looking at me anyway, like, what do you mean I have no limitations?
They're self-made.
No, Patty, I don't agree with that. Now, don't anybody faint. I just disagreed with Patty. Who you know is the other half of the peanut section here. I don't agree they're self-made. I agree they're self-chosen.
Oh, yes, there's bad sense.
They're self-chosen. Because we're the ones who have to gather the evidence.
Yep.
We're the ones who have to decide it means something. We're the ones who have to agree that this evidence applies to us. It means that we are limited in some way, and we are incapable but we are incapable of overcoming whatever this evidence is. That is a choice. That is a decision. And that is a decision that we make. I've been thinking this week about how I use the word irrepressible every Sunday as my word when we circle up. And I've been thinking about, that's a big word to use. Irrepressible. Because that means that there's nothing I can't do or be. Well, guess what? We are all that. And I see heads nodding, too. Heads nodding. And I appreciate your agreement with me. But that's not the point. I don't need anybody to agree with me. That's not why we're here. We are not here to talk about what I believe. We're here to take a look at what you believe.
Yes.
And to take a look at how that's showing up in your life. And how that's showing up in many lives right now is as limitation. That we have decided to agree with. So it's sort of like signing up for it, you know? There's a young man whose mom has really been having a tough time health-wise, who Denise and I know very well, and he has just recently signed up for the service, to be in the service. I can't remember which branch. Army? Yeah. Army. Thank you, Denise. That's the other half of the peanut section. And I'll tell you, this is one of those families that, I mean, they are so close. Every generation is so close and so tight-knit, and they count on each other. They do everything or many things together, and he is the youngest. And for him to leave is a huge deal. But he realized he felt called. He felt called to be of service in this particular way and at this particular time. Even though his family is like, really? What are you doing? We're all in this together. We're not in that together. We're not all signing up for the army. And what he repeatedly says when asked is, I just know this is mine to do. And that somehow, and believe me, this is not a family that practices the science of mind philosophy. He says to me, I know this is mine to do, and that somehow it will serve everyone. Somehow it will bring good to everyone. So what's yours to do? What's one little tiny idea? One little tiny idea. I'm not asking you to go for the Grand Canyon. One little tiny idea that you may have been resisting, or you may have felt it just didn't feel comfy. And so you're waiting for it to feel comfy. Our own discomfort is the thing we struggle with most. Our own discomfort. And I'm not talking about physical discomfort. I'm talking about emotional discomfort. I'm talking about the discomfort that arises when we start thinking about changing our mind, changing our perspective, accepting a new way of being, working, actually doing the practice that will support that new way of being and that will encourage that new way of being, and we get the oohs, It's like I'm not ready yet. If not now, when? We could wait. We've waited a lifetime. As I said on another Sunday at some point, We've lived an entire lifetime to be right here, right now. I'm not kidding. Very important thing to recognize. We have lived an entire lifetime to be right here, right now. So if not now, when? Are we going to live the rest of our lifetime waiting to feel comfortable? It's like free beer. It may not happen. The comfort that we're waiting for, the ease that we're waiting for, so that we can just make that change with no problem. We can just shift into that new way of being or thinking or perceiving, no problem. You know, the funny thing about it is that it is waiting on us. Because it, whatever the shift is, whatever the change in perception is, whatever the change in thinking is, whatever the change in believing is, whatever the change in choosing is, it has already happened. Now, wait a minute. How does it happen without me? Well, it happens before us. Because our brain and the committee, you know the committee very well, I'm quite sure, probably even by name. Our brain and the committee keep saying, wait, it's too soon. You're not ready. Well, you may not be ready. What are you doing to get ready? And when will you be ready? There are so many things that happen in our lives. If we were to stop and think about it, and I'm not going to do a stroll down memory lane right now, but there are so many things that happen in our lives that we were not expecting. Good things, other things, so many things that happen that we were not expecting. Did we have some reaction to it? Did we have some feelings about it? Did it take us a while to adapt? Maybe. Are we still here? I'm looking each of you in the eye, so I can see that you're still here. So obviously, you were more key to the end result than whatever appeared to be the end result. You were more central to the life experience, even though the life experience was shocking, difficult, a delightful surprise, whatever it was. You were the key component. You will always be the key component. Always. How many of us treat our lives as if we're the key component? How many of us, on the other hand, and this is a rhetorical question, I'm not asking anybody to raise their hands, how many of us on the other hand, sees everybody else and everything else as the key component. Because when it or they get their act together, then my life will be fine. That's another free beer thing. Because they don't even know, and it doesn't even know, that you're waiting for it to get its act together, and then your life will be fine. There's no conscious connection there. And yet we hold the expectation, the desire, the fantasy that if just that happens, then everything's going to be ducky. Ducky being a very spiritual word. This is what I think. I think it's up to us to decide everything's ducky now.
Right, I agree.
The peanut gallery agrees. One more. Why don't we just decide? Because we're deciding anyway.
Yeah.
We're choosing anyway. We're formulating this whole construct anyway. Why don't we decide that everything is okay now?
Yeah.
Because you know what? It is what it is. And it isn't what it isn't. If we decided that everything was okay in this moment, we're okay. We're all sitting here safe, right? In each other's company, supporting each other in considering new ideas and new ways of being. We're all safe. Are there people in the world who are not? Yes. Is it us? No. So it's not about disregarding the people who are not in a position to have this conversation. I'm having this conversation with people who are in the position to have this conversation. Who can choose, who can choose, who can choose right this moment to think differently. To choose differently. To stand in our strength. To stand in our strength. To be fully ourselves. And bring that fullness and bring all that we are, all that we have, all that we can be to every single person we meet. Now, I'm not talking about running up to them and knocking them over with a hug. I'm talking about investing our best in every single moment. And if we don't feel like we have our best in that moment, we have a version of our best. Right? Yeah. We always have a version. It may be significantly modified. But we always have a version of our best handy. We are so loved. We are so supported. We are so treasured. We are the living revelation of life itself, as is every beautiful thing of any kind, anywhere that you have ever seen or that you will ever see. There are no exceptions. We are enough. In fact, we're more than enough. Because we have the opportunity to do this life the way we want. So if not now, when? And so it is. I'm not even going to pretend to try to put this back together for Michou. So now is our time for conscious giving. And my invitation to you as we approach this sacred time is to bring to it the best vision and version of yourself that you can come up with in the moment. And set aside some of the thoughts that some of you might be having about, I'd like to give more, but I really want to support my community, but my rent's due this month or week, or my car's being worked on and I'm picking it up tomorrow. Whoever thought the streets of this country were strewn with gold, they were right. They just didn't realize that the streets of this country were also strewn with butts. Yeah, butts. I would if I could. And I will when I can. The attitude of our giving is what matters. We're doing what we can. What we believe we can right now, right?
Right.
We're doing what we can. We made almost $600 yesterday. That's it. Hey.
Yay.
You know.
You can get excited and then you can get prosperous.
Exactly. Gratitude, 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 gratitude. If the ushers would join me, please. And Denise, if you would get my tithe and the envelope out of my purse, thank you. All right, so let's say together our sharing affirmation. And what I would really love is when the baskets come around, I'd like everyone to touch them and bless them and bless their contents. I don't care if you're adding anything or not. Well, it's not exactly true that I don't care, but I'm grateful if you're adding something or if you've added something online. What I want you to give right now is your gratitude. Intentionally, consciously, deeply. The love of Spirit blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive abundantly. And so it is. You can strain this up for her, right? Thank you. Oh my gosh. Woo! The energy in these baskets is just amazing. I got it. I bless and receive with such joy the energy, the intention, the giving that the contents of these baskets represent. The gratitude that uplifts and celebrates this community to always be at its highest and best. I know that our board is fabulous stewards of that which we receive. And I bless them in their activity. And so it is. And so it is.
Incubation, true gestation hides behind
take you, your song into the symphony. Let the light awake you to your belonging in the majesty. Love does not forsake you, though you may tumble in its waves headlong, and try to swim upstream as it carries you on. The word, the sound, the incarnation, even in the lamentation, something in you knows, and something in you rose. Every passion, expression, life expression, elections, the one by one we leap and waken from our sleep. Let the music take you, your song into the symphony. Let the light awake you to your belonging in the majesty. Love does not forsake you, though you may tumble in its waves headlong, and try to swim upstream as it carries you on. Song within the symphony. Let the light awake you to your belonging in the majesty. Love does not forsake you, though you may tumble in its waves headlong, and try to swim upstream as it carries you home. Love does not forsake you, though you may fumble, you can't get it wrong. Dive into the night, it will lead you to dawn. Dive into the night, it will lead you to dawn. Dive into the night, it will lead you to dawn.